Hello there. That was very musical, wasn't it?
Hello.
Hello. How are we all?
Lovely.
Welcome. Peachy. Oh, that's good. I'm creamy, so we make a good
dessert.
Yeah. Welcome
I'm
back.
the spoon.
The little one or the big one?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Excellent. Well, there's a bed over there, so we're sorted for afterwards. Welcome back to the RedWeird podcast, episode 2. Hey, finally.
They said it would never happen.
Yep.
Everybody.
We made it.
We did.
Another go.
Episode 2, called BeardCast.
BeardCast.
So we're going to be talking about facial hair and not what's it? Libel against married celebrities.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm sorry.
Like, that's my joke. It's gone.
Oh no!
I've ruined his joke already. That's Goldie not talking for the rest of the episode.
Is there actually a second definition of beard? I thought it was one of those ones.
Yeah. I've sort of put on our run through that we're going to talk about what we've been up to for the last couple of weeks, and I put just my PC issues. And if anyone follows me on Twitter or knows me, you know how annoyed I've been in the last couple of weeks. But finally, I have it back and I can use it.
You crying in the fetal position. It's good.
It turns out that the graphics card was ruined. It was a brand new graphics card as well.
Ruined.
And it's the most expensive component that I put in my computer, and it's the one that went tits up. So, thankfully, I got a new one for free.
Oh, cool.
I was going to say, perfect excuse to buy an even better, shinier one.
Well, I tell you what, I was very tempted to get the GTX 1080, yeah. But then I realised that's like 600 quid. No.
For what it is, steel. But we'll get to that.
I know. But I don't have that sort of money.
How good does Candy Crush Saga look?
Oh my god, it's like I get at least 60 FPS now. It's
you need that to play at top level Candy Crush.
Is it an esport?
It should be.
I imagine.
I would pay to watch that.
It's e-heroin.
You would pay to watch someone play Candy Crush?
No. We need a sarcasm button. God. I thought of all people, the driest in the room would be...
I can't believe that's not on the initial soundboard, some sarcasm feature, because it's about 50% of our conversations.
Yeah, but basically, I think the safest thing we can say to our listeners is that generally assume it is sarcasm rather than the other way around.
It's ironic. We don't mean anything we say.
Yeah. Okay. So what have you got any interesting tidbits from your last couple of weeks since we last recorded?
So, well, definition of interesting is kind of good for my life. I've got a new project. Oh, for those of you who don't know, I work in a lot of multimedia and tech, and I just started on a VR project, virtual reality related stuff. It's really cool. I can't say too much about it, but I'm working on brand new stuff, setting up infrastructure, and I've been playing with like HTC Vive and the brand new Oculus Rift and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. And I do hope that we can potentially finagle some bits of that into what we talk about here. But yeah, that's been the main highlight. It's pretty cool. Excellent.
I have to say I'm quite interested in VR. I was really skeptical about it at first, but now I've started reading more. I think actually this is going to be really awesome.
After the 90s misfire, it could go somewhere, but it's going to be niche for a little while. Wait on the PlayStation. Yeah, but wait on the PlayStation VR. I think that's going to get it to mass market, but let's not stick on that now.
No. Goldberg, anything?
Well, I reached a milestone, actually, since we last met.
Oh?
I drove further than I have ever driven on my own.
How far did you go?
I drove to Stockton-on-Tees.
Stockton-on-Tees. How many miles is that from here? In Oxford, that is.
230 miles.
230 miles.
And
then 230 miles back?
the next day. So 560 inside
460.
Wait, what?
560.
The pilgrimage to Middlesbrough.
Apparently it's not Middlesbrough. I was told quite clearly it's not Middlesbrough.
It's not Middlesbrough.
Yeah, don't make the mistake. Stockton versus Middlesbrough. And it's not a pilgrimage so much as a gauntlet.
The only thing I know about Stockton, if it's the same one, is that it had the first railway in Britain.
That's
really
quite a good little
tidbit. It was Stockton to somewhere, the rail line. I could probably completely made that up. but I'm pretty sure it was one of the earliest train lines in Britain.
Well, if anyone wants to write in and let us know,
Yeah, there
we
you go.
don't care.
That's about right.
That was it. That was my big moment. I could,
Your
go
life's
into
awesome.
my whole life, but you don't have time.
That was exciting. I like that we actually had something to say. Although I was just moaning about my computer. I haven't done much else. I've done gardening. Oh, actually, I've brewed some beer. This is basically what happens when you don't have a PC. You end up finding really random stuff to do, and I've started brewing beer.
So what's the beer called?
I haven't got a name for it. I was going to sort of throw it out there. So if anyone wants to suggest one,
What colour is it?
it's amber
Amber.
ale.
Well,
So it's sort
considering that-
well, to be honest, when I first made it, it sort of looked like gravy.
Keep it away from Johnny
God.
Depp then. Is that libel?
In
No,
a
you
homage,
didn't say.
there's this liquor that I picked up when I was much younger in Sicily, and considering that amber beer matches your hair colour, you could call it firewater.
Firewater. Oh,
Yeah, that's literally the name of a 50% proof, like god awful, not god awful, very memorable liquor of a trip to Sicily I took years ago. What I do remember of it.
well, I was thinking
Etna
something
Firewater.
something on the hair side of things, like. But there is already a beer called Ginger Tosser, so I can't do that. But one suggestion from my good wife was Ginger Beard, but with 2 E's.
Simple
That's-
but elegant.
you know.
That's actually, yeah.
I'm supposed to be bottling it tomorrow, and then I think I'm going to take it to a festival because I'm going to Truck Festival, and I reckon that's the perfect place to drink it because if it tastes like absolute arse, it won't matter because I'll probably already be drunk.
Have you been before?
No, this is my first time.
Well, I hope you have a good time.
I'm sure I will. I tell you what, why didn't I regale you with that story in the next podcast
Can't-
after it?
When is it?
It's like middle of July.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to sneeze.
I'll be here.
No, I'm not.
Say
That's
say
really
hedgehogs.
hedgehogs.
There you go.
What? Because that sounds like achoo.
No, I mean now you're not sneezing.
Right. That was actually much louder than I expected it to be. So, ridiculous tech. Ridiculous tech. If you haven't listened before, why not? But also, ridiculous tech is where we find some interesting things on the internet and either overpriced tech or just random stuff that we find. Yeah, I thought it was quite funny.
I enjoyed it.
It was fun looking the stuff
Mr.
up.
Tilling was fun, and also that guy that was trying to sleep rough under
After
his
buying
headphones.
Well, no, there was the guy who also bought a keyboard for £100,000, and then he had to sell his flat. I've gone with some that don't necessarily have really funny reviews, but they are just mental inventions.
Okay. I may have done the same.
Okay, well, basically, this is one I saw. Apparently, it was on Shark Tank in the US, which is like Dragon's Den, isn't it?
Yeah.
Much, yeah.
And basically, it is the Illumibol toilet nightlight. So,
What?
basically, you can go to the toilet in the middle of the night and not have to turn the light on. Oh, yes. Because, that's such an effort. And it means you won't pee all over the seat. Well, any more than
'cause
normal.
Men don't do that in the day, right?
But apparently it's motion activated, fits any toilet, sets to colour rotate or single colour.
Lovely.
So you can have it sort of, what's the word? Pulsing between colours, yeah. Sanitary design, which is a relief, to be honest. It also says it's battery powered. That's weird.
That sounds distinctly unsanitary
Well,
if it
you don't
sits
get a lot
in your toilet.
I mean, it's
There's not a lot of plug sockets near the toilet.
one of their taglines is "Don't worry, pee happy."
They get points for that. That's really rather good.
Yeah, that's not bad. I have to say they've really thought about that, haven't they? The average rating is 3.1 out of 5 on Amazon, so it's not great.
But that's a C plus or C grade.
I wouldn't buy a 3.1 out of
No,
5
I'd
product.
4 and above.
if you're going to have a motion controlled, I think this is a good idea, a night light for your bathroom that just comes on as you walk in.
How about...
Why would you put it in the
But it's in the
toilet?
bowl, yeah,
Hang
so
on.
it's just the
Why
bowl.
not put it on the windowsill?
Sorry, how about just a tube and a funnel, a luminous funnel with a tube on the end? Then you just, stick the tube down the toilet. You don't have to turn any lights on. You just look at the funnel.
A short-range glow-in-the-dark catheter.
Glow-in-the-dark
Yeah, I guess so.
catheter, yes.
Or do you mean like a funnel, like you pour stuff in if you're cooking?
Yeah,
like
you pour urine in it from your penis.
Pour
No.
urine?
Pour, yeah.
do you
It comes pouring out.
Okay, all
I
right.
should see someone.
So-
You've got a lot of pressure there.
You
Yeah.
have no idea.
So that was the Illumi Bowl. Who wants to go next?
I've decided to look at interesting patents.
Oh,
yeah,
clever.
yeah, good.
Like it.
Right. The picture which comes with this is unavailable on the podcast, but I'll describe it. It's a lady strapped to a table at an angle. So the table is elevated at the head end.
Right,
So her head is high and her legs are low.
right.
The actual invention is apparatus
Apparatus.
Apparatus for facilitating the birth of a child by centrifugal force.
What? So they spin it around?
The expectant mother is strapped down to the table, which is then spun to use centrifugal force to encourage the birth of the child.
Encourage brain damage.
Sorry, to encourage the baby to emerge.
So is it just meant to sort
Brain
of
damaged.
fly out?
They spin her around until the baby comes flying out. It obviously didn't catch on because that was 1965. So
Wow, that is
It's probably got
incredible.
used with centripetal force, and that's why.
well, there you go.
The Control-Alt-Delete wand.
Oh,
Now,
that thing.
this I know.
I've not heard
like,
of this.
No, the picture it was on was a CRT monitor. It's like a 90s Windows 95 thing. It's a stick with a handle and long prongs that can match exactly the control button and the alt button on the left side of your spacebar and the delete button on the bottom of the numpad. So with just one hand and some careful precision placement, you can hit Control Alt Delete at the same time with this metal 3-stick wand.
Wow.
Is it adjustable? That's because I looked at this as well. Is it adjustable for different keyboards?
No, the actual prong bits were welded, so even if you had like some different like ergonomic keyboard, it's completely useless.
So this is a very niche market that they're sort of looking for.
They probably want you to get the keyboard that comes with the wand.
I think this one did the rounds, got quite popular a few years ago, but I saw it and it made me angry. It's the iTypewriter. This is hipsterism taken to the nth degree. It's a port for your iPad. There's an actual typewriter, and when you tap the type keys, you know how normally they'd spring up and they'd put the ink on the page.
Yeah.
Each one's got a little rubber sort of ball, and it hits the actual keypad buttons of your iPad's keyboard.
Oh my god.
You think you hate the people if you walk into some coffee shop and the ones who just buy a muffin all day while they work on their Comic-Con, graphic novel, crossover, because the air in their mum's basement is getting stale. And you double down on that. You slot your iPad in like a 1930 stylized typewriter and
Just incredible.
It's I saw that and I imagined the kind of person using that, and it made me just want to like punch them in the pancreas.
Amazing. Have you got any more, Goldberg?
I do.
Do you want to do one more and I'll do one more and then we'll
I wouldn't mind.
We'll move on. Yeah.
Okay, this is weird, and I've been a bit nervous about trying to describe this. This is an exercising device. Now, in the picture, there's two people using this exercising device, and it looks basically like they are holding a spring in their mouths. So each person has a plate in their mouth, and there's a spring attached to each plate. The description says of this device that 2 plates are employed. Each of these plates is provided with a flexible member, the ends of which are secured to a single elastic member in the form of a spring or the like.
or the
This
like.
form of the device is used by two persons, each of which grips one of the plates between the teeth, and said persons pull in opposite directions, similar to the so-called tug of war.
I was about to say, it sounds like an oral tug of war.
And
It
what
is.
what is this supposed to exercise? Your teeth?
I don't know.
I'm going to finish us off. Now, this isn't really a piece of tech, but while I was looking for tech, I found this, and basically I had to tell people about it because it is ridiculous. How do I describe it? I mean, is it jewellery? I mean, apparently it is jewellery. It is, for £500, a solid silver anus. Yep. I mean, what? It's elegantly designed. Okay, so the description. This is great.
Have you lost your anus?
The perfect gift for your tightest squeeze. 55 grams of hallmarked silver sphincter. Although immaculate in appearance, casting was no easy process. And a mere 100 of these magnificent silver sex muscles were made. Now, it's not a a toy for that purpose, if you see what I mean.
It's not a butt plug.
No, or it's not a device for men to use.
Is this an exercise device?
It is purely a gift, like a paperweight almost. It's really strange.
It's entirely decorative.
It is a princely gift, Tom, that you have given me.
More info. Please note, it's been bleached.
Like Howie's.
Due to the nature of this product, we are unable to offer our usual 30-day no-quibble returns policy. I mean, why on earth would you buy one of these things? It just says ideal for the gentleman/lady who has everything or nothing at all. Why not open up to someone special with this fabulously tongue-in-cheek gift?
Have you ever quibbled over an anus, Howie?
Daily.
Fair enough.
So you should, but be careful. Check
I've
the
never
terms and
been
conditions.
offered a silver.
I thought you were about to say check your prostate again.
No.
I was hoping we'd forgotten about
We didn't
that
get
little
enough
gambit
listeners.
since
We got.
bitch.
I didn't actually specify a number, to be fair, but I think what we got about 80.
Yeah, I saw 80.
It's not bad.
80 what, sorry?
Listens. Although I think I listened to it about 5 times.
Yeah, I was responsible for 3 or 4 of those.
I didn't listen to it. I had
but it
way
is-
too much to do.
It's now available on iTunes. So, and actually, no one has left a review yet. I'd love someone to leave us a review.
Can I just-
I will read
yeah.
it. Obviously.
I noticed there were 3 likes on SoundCloud from the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Let's
Someone
not-
else. There was one other person.
Oh,
I don't know who
haven't
they
looked-
were.
I
only
know
checked
who
the
it
few
was.
days.
It was
Oh,
a
oh,
friend.
damn.
The thing is, I think people think they have to get SoundCloud app, and they don't.
No, just get iTunes.
I don't
Yeah.
care because a lot of the times as soon as you hit up or like
Yeah,
on something,
just-
you
if
get
you're
a
listening to
login
this on
page.
SoundCloud, get it on iTunes.
Yeah, it counts towards our stats, and it looks prettier. Okay, next section. Now, this is where we come to the title of BeardCast. So, I've obviously written a couple of things down here, but the first thing was talking about our own facial hair. Now, we all
manliest of
are
subjects.
all sporting some varying lengths of facial hair.
And penis.
Well, yeah.
Inevitably.
So I have a beard, and I have done for what, about three or 4 years now.
Yeah, yours has been fairly consistent.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I couldn't grow one for ages because I am of fair ginger hair, and it just grew in sort of weird clumps and looked awful.
Like baby hamsters had died all over your face.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where to go from that.
But it's a thing I've noticed in general. I came up with the term beard puberty, which seems to actually start, let alone finish, several years
I
after
think
normal
that's really
puberty.
good, Howie.
That is actually a good way of putting it, because it is it's a different age to the standard puberty.
Because, yeah, I tried a beard in, I reckon, 2008, and it didn't take. Or maybe 2010. It didn't
So,
work.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But what comes in your teenage sort of moustache is what you're after to begin with. and like you get a bit on your chin, and then the rest of it fills out. As always now, actually I say always, listeners correct us me if I'm wrong. The where the handlebars join the goatee at the corner of your mouth, that little patch that makes the moustache and the chin all one sort of glorious island is the last damn thing to come in.
Yeah, I still don't get it there. It's still, I still get a gap.
I have to sort of Fu Manchu my moustache a bit longer to.
Yeah, it's exactly what I've done.
The
but why
thin patches.
I can't really remember why I decided to grow a beard. It was just because I couldn't be bothered to shave. Although, to be fair, my facial hair grew so slowly that I was only needing to shave every couple of weeks anyway. But then I just thought, why not? I'll give it a go. And to be honest, it was probably because it was the fashion a couple of years ago and everyone was doing it.
You look better for it.
I think I do, personally. I shaved it off about a year ago and I looked about 12 years old. And that was odd. So I grew it back straight away. Basically, because I got married in September, I did an experiment about March, April last year, and I shaved it off and realised it was awful. No, I'm having a beard for the wedding. There was just no way I was going to look like that.
Fair enough.
It was a good call. If you ever need to lose a few years for the sake of sort of like getting into a student bar or whatever, then you can sort of like whip it off.
Or well, school as an undercover detective.
An undercover detective like Detective John Kimball.
What?
Yep.
The Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, I was thinking Jump Street, but fine.
Jump Street? Oh, no. Yeah. I don't know who looks the youngest out of the three of us. I mean, we're all sort of age.
Yeah,
we are of age.
Hello, ladies. We're of age,
but we all look sort of a similar age.
Howie looks youngest. He just does.
Yeah.
I, to be honest, maybe except the hairline sort of thinning out did something to it. The thing with the beards, I was reading up a bit on like the current fashion component of it with the beard coming back in general. It sort of kicked off like several years ago, sort of end of the last decade into sort of 2010 with the rise of the hipster. And there was a quote I saw. I read the Telegraph. I feel dirty, but I did. It was an article, and it was like we reached sort of apparently peak beard.
Oh, I read about that, but it was because I think it was a certain individual, a certain celebrity had grown one. And I can't remember who it is for the life of me now, but it was a politician or someone had grown a beard, and they were like, "That's it, we've reached peak beard now. We can't."
But that was it. But the thing is, it's carried on. But when I look back on some other stuff to do with it, it comes in huge long waves of like months and years of when it's in. It's out, clean shaven's clean, and then
it's true.
Back, and then it goes to a period when it's really down. In the 90s. It was clean shaven everywhere. You just didn't see it. Like everything, like sort of you watch Baywatch, you watch any sitcom. It was all about like the youthful kind of face, and then everyone's like, "I've had enough of this." It's a psychological factor.
It's interesting though, because in Hollywood, I still think it is about the clean shaven thing. Because if you look at, for example, Marvel and DC, two of the biggest. I know you've got Tony Stark. But like Captain America and Superman, always classic, clean cut, good all-Americans, and there's no sort of the anti-hero was always the one with the beard.
Yeah, an argument though could be made for that's a component of a portrayal of a character they're trying to make from a comic rather than just an on-screen representation.
Maybe
of
that's
threats.
it. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just there's no bearded superheroes in comics.
There must be.
Well, no, there's bigger, older, authoritative ones, but you are right, it's the beard. Villains, though, they've never got, like, your big lumberjack thing going on. It's always very stylized, like, almost creepily, obsessively sculpted facial hair.
That's very true, yeah. I'm just trying to think now, because...
I mean, the Merciless, there you go. Now, that guy had some chronically weird facial hair.
Oh, we're getting towards Brian Blessed again. I like this.
Yeah, I thought I'd give you that little segue. I'll introduce the villain.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, but... Yeah, why? So you've had a beard on and off, haven't you, Goldberg?
I've dabbled, for a while, but I've mostly been clean shaven. And then I did Movember a few years ago, and we did good moustaches.
Yours was outstanding. You did look like Nick Offerman.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And so when I did Movember 2014, I think this time, it kind of just stuck. I mean, that was a kind of a silly goatee because you couldn't join it to the moustache.
Yeah.
After that, it evolved.
It was
into first it was several days unshaven and then slowly beard.
Now, do I remember this rightly? When the first time we did Movember, you actually shaved it off halfway through the month.
And started
again, and still grew a bigger moustache than me.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, basically, you were just taking the mick.
Andy, I will say this since I've known you, which has now been far too long. You've got beard virility to beat both of us combined. It's insane.
That sort of moves us on nicely, actually, to talking about celebrity beards and facial hair. I know the Selleck moustache was glorious, and yet we've touched on Brian Blessed because something tells me we're going to mention Brian Blessed in every single episode.
Something tells me you're going to mention it, so we may as well prop you up.
Yeah, but he is amazing. You know,
I didn't know he was in Z-Cars.
Wow,
I didn't either.
I was watching that Bellew fight, the boxing match, and he came out to Z-Cars because it was at Everton Stadium. It's all about Z-Cars. So I looked up the Z-Cars theme.
And he was in it.
I have to admit, I'm quite impressed by it. And there was this man with no beard, and I thought, I know him. It was Brian Blessed.
He had no beard.
You've seen Brian Blessed with no beard.
Yeah, on Z-Cars in
Amazing.
the 60s.
Mind you, I was going to say he was very young back then. So Flash Gordon was in 1980, and it was a big old beard by then, so he must have been growing it for at least a week. But you know, that I don't think many people can pull off a long beard like that. I mean, there obviously there are a lot of metalheads who love growing long beards, and it looks awesome on the right person.
ZZ Top, champions of long
but
beard.
just loads of people grow great big long beard. We're not talking Pai Mei from Kill Bill with the wispy chucking it over your shoulder job. But I can't. I mean, imagine if I tried to grow it down to like my chest. It wouldn't look right, would it?
But he's managed that in every direction. It's not just like, oh, I've got a long, because you get like kind of crappy and then stubbly, and then it grows out groomed, trimmed, and then you've got like large. And then you've got like it goes past the point of a bushy beard to a homeless kind of hermit or wild man.
yeah.
Like you've been rolling around in the New Forest with leaves and living off slugs for 3 months.
It's
Brian
maintained.
Blessed's got one of that size, but it's clearly been waxed and groomed, and he has several handlers that are dedicated just to his beard. And he's done it in every direction, and it's never gone away.
I mean, I was trying to think of bearded celebrities, and you think Brian Blessed is one you would instantly think of.
There's a few who are in there what they do, as in they'll be on the red carpet, they'll be photographed as like part of the fashion trend.
Exactly, but
to their productions.
You're right. You're absolutely right. When they're on the red carpet, they're all bearded, and then as
Tom
soon
Hardy,
as they start filming, it's gone.
Tom Hardy is one who always has a beard when he's not filming.
My favourite celebrity beard is Mad Mel Gibson. Not normal Mel Gibson. When he's mad, which is now 65% of the time at least,
well, that
he grows
percentage...
a beard and he looks like bat poop crazy.
I don't think I've actually seen it.
Speaking of bat poop, Ben Affleck grew a beard, and not great. He looked weird with it. He had the chin to pull off Batman in the mask.
I thought he had a good beard face. I remember him at the BAFTAs.
It's beard for say.
So mine, for what it's worth, on my beard, a bit like laziness, but I work in a field with technology and video games.
Where are the plugs?
You don't need to shave, you don't need to do anything, and it was a combination of being neckbeard is a term that's used to insult nerds anyway.
Yeah,
because
it's true.
We just generally don't get rid of it. And I've kept mine on and off, but actually I've been clean shaven, and then grown out. But I've generally now I got a trimmer, a razor, and it's a wonderful balance between not having to spend enough time wet shaving and keeping this douchey stubble maintained. It is what the term I use is douche stubble, and I proudly wear it. It's a lot of effort to look like you've made no effort.
Did you because you're quite fair of hair?
Yes.
Did you have the same problem as me with the patchy growth until recently?
Still do. I know this is ridiculous. This is beyond even sort of acceptable now. I'm 30 now, and I still can't grow a sort of blessed beard, to coin a phrase.
Nice.
And I do wish I could. I really would sort of grow it out quite substantially. But the only thing I can get away with is this kind of half-centimetre stubble. So I keep that going, and I keep the neckline clean. I think it's also slightly rated. I had an ex-girlfriend who was quite into Oliver Queen from Arrow, the series Arrow, and he's just like, he pulls off the scruffy thing, plus he's built like a brick outhouse. So I was sort of like, I'll just keep that going. And I did, and I stuck with it.
Fair enough. Oh, that's cool. But with celebrities, again, Mel Gibson, but he's never sort of known
Never on film.
for having a beard. Who is? I mean, the thing is, the famous beards in film are like Gandalf, but Ian McKellen doesn't have one.
I've got that saved up in mind, Gandalf and Saruman, but those are like beards you'd have to grow in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Wizard length is beyond anything that exists in the normal world.
Again, Obi-Wan, both incarnations, but not the actor. Not. Although,
No, they grew their beards.
yeah, well, yeah, but as in Ewan McGregor
I was
doesn't.
going to say prequel.
Didn't always have a beard.
I see what you mean. They're not natural.
It's like I'm not talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about the actor or the celebrity.
I've got to have a good one. It was for the bit on favourite celebrity beards. Look no further than the glory that is Game of Thrones. Because Christopher, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, sorry to Scandinavian people. Christopher Hivju, Tormund Giantsbane.
Oh, Tormund.
Yes.
The funny thing is, I have seen...
Red, ginger, fire-kissed. That's the term in Game of Thrones.
Kissed by fire, yeah.
Kissed by fire.
Now,
his beard is born of fire.
I have seen a photo of him without it. And
my goodness.
He looks like a completely different human being. Oh no, he looks like a human being compared to this hulking mountain that he looks like as Tormund. I love Tormund Giantsbane. He is one of my favourite characters.
Tom, what you're saying is what has caused me quite a lot of trouble trying to look into this, is that there are no particular celebrity beards.
That's it.
So I thought, who would look weird without a beard?
Oh.
Such as Noel Edmonds.
Oh.
Which is impossible to picture.
No, I can't picture that.
But
that's very topical as well, because he's been in the news this week.
Yes, he has.
Really?
His magic cancer
he
box.
He went on Twitter and said this amazing box detects and cures cancer. I'm like, no, mate.
Have you seen the Tiguan advert?
I'm afraid not.
It's the white 4x4 crossover.
Volkswagen, yeah.
Right, so there's like a dad driving a kid, and they're ashamed to be in the car with him. And then there's another parent and a child, and they're ashamed. And then there's a dad who's young. I reckon he's 40. He's got a beard. It looks like it's stuck on. And he's driving, and he's white and middle class, and he's listening to hip-hop. And him and his daughter, or kidnap victim, whatever, they are nodding along to the crappy hip-hop together, and she is not ashamed to be with him, and it just is everything. I mean, he looks like he's borrowed his hairdresser's car. There's nothing cool about that car or him with his stupid greyish beard that I swear we wore more convincing beards at Tom's Stag Do.
Wow.
There's nothing convincing about
people
it.
No, we glued on the worst ginger leprechaun beards you've ever seen.
They're amazing. And actually, when Goldberg put it on, you had the hat and the sunglasses. You did actually look like another member of ZZ Top.
Maybe one day we'll see some pictures of that.
Oh, because Harry took them all and hasn't shown
10 months ago.
I don't know. Some of those photographs should never be seen in public again. I can tell you right now.
Fair enough.
That's true. They're coming. Once clean shaving came in towards the end of the Greeks and the Romans, philosophers kept them, and it was a mark of their status. Like everyone else would actually walk around sort of like being more groomed and thing, and philosophers would keep their beards. And it led to this kind of quote that there's not necessarily anything behind the beard if you wanted to insult someone's intelligence. And there's tons of stuff like go through medievals and Mesopotamians, like Sumerians and other cultures, and they use curling tongs to have these perfect. There's some quote from some ancient king in like Assyria, who's a guy who was executed. He had his head cut off, and like the head was turned to the king because he was like traitor and exile or something. And the king looked at his like, what a shame we had to execute someone who had such a glorious beard. And it's like, really was said like that. It was recorded history.
That's quite cool. And on that note, I think we'll wrap up our beer discussion.
Thank God.
I think we've covered a variety of stuff, celebrities, and just the general culture of it. That's pretty good. Time for some bongos. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit new this time because Goldberg has told me he's had a couple of letters from listeners.
Oh right, yeah.
So I figured now's quite a good time to get into these before we go into our film in 5.
You've caught me on the hop somewhat here.
Oh,
This okay, sure. So this is listeners' letters.
listeners, letters.
So
Do you like my jingle? Sorry.
That's very good. You had no chance of knowing about this, really. Right, so the first letter comes from Karen from Stockton-on-Tees.
Wow, she listens to the podcast. That's
says
great.
she will listen to this podcast if we don't try rhyming again, because apparently our episodes suggestions last week were not rhymes. She said, I will listen as long as there isn't any rhyming. No, I'm not listening in that case. Why? It's so annoying. I'll stick my fingers in my ears and hum over that bit. Boo.
Did we accidentally
We
rhyme?
didn't rhyme with weird. We
Well-
rhymed with like weir.
I know, but
Yeah.
The names of the
there are not
future
there are not that many. Well, she'll be happy with this episode then because it's Beard.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be happy with that.
But there aren't actually that many episodes, that many words that rhyme with
But
weird.
it's given me pause for thought.
We'll consider. Well, when we get to our discussion of future episodes.
So poets we ain't.
Poets, and we really don't know it. Or
Well,
we aren't poets and we don't know it.
Well, Karen from Stockton-on-Tees,
Thank you for your caring enough to let us know.
give us some ideas too.
Yeah,
Please. We'd
throw
love to
them
hear
out
them.
there.
Yeah.
The second and last correspondence is from Lee from the Wirral, which is Liverpool, basically.
Are you allowed to say that?
Hi, RedWeird and chums. Lee here, long-time listener.
Hello, Lee.
At least 45 minutes.
First-time caller. I've had some ideas for future themes of the podcast, so basically what you just said.
Oh, excellent.
Redmeers. This is where you talk about bushcraft, camping, and other Ray Mears themed shenanigans.
That's brilliant.
You could all eat bush tucker. I'd buy that for $1. You can get a lot of grubs for $1. To be honest, it's really hard to think of things rhyming with weird.
Thank you.
Have you thought of changing your name to Red Bat or Red Cat?
Red Bat.
So there you have it. That's from Lee from the Wirral.
The only thing
Well,
I
you
can...
know what? That's great. These are. I've got to ask: is that second one legit? Because that's a really good letter.
Yes,
wow.
it's real.
All right.
They were
Well,
real.
Lee from the Wirral, we like you. If we actually did at some future point a podcast on location, like we're actually going to go and do like
Not
Red
the Wirral.
Mears. Not no.
You must be
no,
joking.
No. Out. Like
We're
out,
taking
out
your
doing
car
bush
because I'm not...
tucker- out doing like a bush tucker trial thing, and we actually kind of just have to do a podcast bit on what we discover and like how we live.
I would say
Watch how he eat a snake in the jungle.
Why is it always me that has to do it? Like last week, it was a prostate exam, and
I would say if we're going to spend a weekend eating testicles, we can probably just do that here in my spare room.
That's true.
Well, those are good letters. I encourage people to write in some more. And if you do want to write in, I tell you what, I'll give you my email address.
yes.
It is redweird86@gmail.com. Nice and easy to remember.
What was that, Tom?
It was redweird86@gmail.com.
Thanks.
Send your letters, suggestions, and abuse.
Yeah.
What I liked is, as you can tell from that, we're not censoring the correspondence. Those were both very negative, I thought.
What? I thought it was constructive criticism.
No, I think Lee
I thought
Lee was in
was
agreement
very-
with us that it's quite hard to find stuff that rhymes with weird. I did point out in the first episode that we were sort of going to be loose with the rhyming thing, but I reckon, because otherwise this is going to end after about 4 episodes.
Yeah. And with Stockton-on-Tees, I got the impression that everything else was good, but this one thing that really got her goat. So I'll take that as a win, to be honest. I got some nice feedback from initial listeners, but it was mostly just sort of positive stuff for a pilot episode, and nothing with like, this is what you should change.
Yeah.
But
Well, the only other thing that I had feedback-wise was the occasional bit of swearing wasn't particularly popular. I think the point is that we're trying to do this as conversational, and if we are sort of always second-guessing ourselves and saying, and like biting our own tongues, we're not going to sound as natural as we do, because we sound so natural and not wooden at all.
So, like right now, we sound amazing and witty and charming.
But the point is, I'm sorry if swearing is offensive to you. We're not going to be deliberately doing it. It's just, it may slip into conversation. The idea is that we're three blokes who go to the pub, and this is sort of our conversation, really.
Yeah.
So it's going to sound a lot like what we are normally.
Exactly. But,
absolutely.
But I appreciate people saying that, so thank you.
We won't Tourette's it up just for the sake of
No,
it.
there's no point in
but
that.
if Howie does swear again, we'll annihilate him.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, swearing is a sign of a high intelligence. If you don't like it, you're stupid.
I would like the listeners' contributions to be a regular segment, so please get involved, people, because we would like to do this again. I enjoyed it.
No, it was great. We've got listeners, so
yes,
please keep it
actual
up.
proof that people listen.
Yeah, it's good to hear people's opinions and ignore them.
Thank you for justifying my childhood.
We will take them on board and then not do anything about it. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Boom.
That was right in my ear.
Well, you have got headphones on.
Oh yeah.
Film in 5.
Oh, my favourite bit of the show.
Yeah. How long did it take you this time?
13 hours.
I wrote them in about 10 minutes before you arrived.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah. So, Film in 5, for those of you who have not listened before, you should go and listen to episode 1 now.
Stop listening to this immediately.
We describe a film in 5 words, and the other contestants, our esteemed colleagues, have to guess what the film is. And obviously, we're not going to make it easy, because that would be massively boring listening.
And that was evident last time. It was not easy at all, except for mine, which were and are again.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, 'cause I made mine too esoteric to the point you guys got really fed up. So
your Life Always Finds a Way one was appalling. I'm sorry, but it really was.
A disgrace. You're a disgrace.
Yeah, it was great because of the segue to Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Okay. I tell you what, Harry, do you want to kick us off?
I'll get mine out of the way because I think, between the two of you, we get these quite
How
quick.
How many have you got?
Just 4. I've got 4. It's alright, it's about the same as last time.
About 20 minutes. I'm not looking.
Well, you know what? I can save some for next week.
No.
Let's see. Let's see how we do.
Well, the first one. You should blame the Jews.
Oh my god.
Of course.
So many things.
Passion of the Christ?
Yep, straight out. Andy's out.
I wanted to say that, but I thought it was going to be really inappropriate.
Well, I went there.
Yeah.
It's
old reliable.
Well, the main reason I did this is back in the news. Mel Gibson is discussing releasing Passion of the Christ 2.
Now, didn't they already make that in Family Guy?
Yes, but a real version. And I thought, the film that didn't so much sink him as exposed him to his own sinkage is going to potentially revive his career. I don't know. But also the fact Mel Gibson made many appearances in this episode of the podcast.
He has.
For a reason, so that worked out quite well.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be weird to make a sequel to a factual event?
Factual.
I've never seen air quotes so big.
Moving on.
All right, moving on. Airbnb experience goes very wrong.
Hostel.
Nope.
Ooh.
Really?
What other horror films? Is it a horror film? It must be a horror film.
I'm not going to give you a clue this
Yeah,
early.
you got to give us some. Come on.
Stays in a hotel. Come on. Or stays at someone's house.
Psycho.
Nope.
Ooh, good guess.
The Shining.
The Shining.
Yes.
Very.
Andy's got 2.
I'm on it
That's
today.
Shining.
Very
Spot
good.
on.
Impressive.
Solid. Okay. You can whip through these quite quickly to number 3. Neglected child repeatedly attempts murder.
this
Home Alone.
Yes.
Wow.
Zip in.
Yeah.
And grown-up neglected child repeatedly attempts heroin to describe Macaulay Culkin's life. And,
Bye, Macaulay.
I would like to issue a retraction in case Macaulay Culkin's lawyers are listening.
Yeah,
all right, last one. Peasant girl develops Stockholm syndrome.
Ooh.
That's weird.
Peasant girl.
Peasant girl develops Stockholm syndrome.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, I thought a couple of those would hold you up. Well, the only one that did for a brief bit was The Shining, but 2 each.
Beauty and the Beast was probably my favourite Disney film when I was a kid, which is really weird. I know.
Mine was Aladdin, because he was a misogynist homeless person. Anyway,
Incredible.
all right, yeah, that's me done. Well done, gentlemen.
Goldberg.
Right. First one. Tiny man flies planes good.
Tiny Man. Top Gun.
Yes. Well done.
Oh, that was like a Chinese puzzle. That was blind. Well done. All right.
Thank you. Okay, fine. That was quick. Second one. Debt collector runs upstairs.
What the hell?
I was going to say Repo Men. I don't know what kind of debt it is.
Debt
This
Collector.
is a classic film.
Oh
This is
my-
iconic, this film.
Debt Collector.
Debt collector.
It's not The Godfather.
No.
No. Oof.
Scarface.
No.
I know there's a bit when he's on stairs. Debt Collector.
This is like the most iconic scene in the film.
Oh my god.
Debt collector runs... Okay, I'm going to qualify this by saying different words. Debt collector runs up steps.
Steps. Oh my god.
90s band.
90s band.
He runs all over H from
You know
stairs.
what? I love
watch
love
that.
the film 90s band, Howie. It's not that.
Runs up steps, so they're outdoor. Debt Collector.
Debt collector runs up. I'm drawing an absolute blank.
Steps. I really can't think. This is so weird.
70s film.
70s. Oh.
I think like 70s heist movies, gangster movies. I keep thinking of The French Connection.
Don't think
That's driving me.
crime.
Don't think crime.
No. Think inspirational.
Citizen.
Oh, I got it. Oh, that's brilliant. Was he a debt collector?
Yes.
Rocky.
Yes, correct.
Amazing.
I actually have to confess, I haven't seen Rocky 1.
Oh.
Well, you must have seen the iconic bit where he runs up the stairs, though, and...
I've seen the bit where he like
Yeah.
runs
Punches
up
the air.
trains.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I didn't know he was a debt collector, so that
No, I
sort
didn't.
of scuppered me.
Well, I didn't want it to be too easy.
That's
No,
good.
that was very good.
Have you got any more?
Yeah, I got one more.
Excellent.
Clever man turns into robot.
Oh, the theory of everything.
Oh my god.
Correct.
Oh, glad I got one in there.
Excellent.
I only know that because I watched that only when it first in the cinema. It's great. Eddie Redmayne was phenomenal in that. That's why he got an Oscar.
Yeah, but I couldn't understand him half the time. He should enunciate more.
I've actually written 6, but
Good.
some
We
of them,
whipped through 'em.
some of them are easy. So, for example, this first one should be quite easy. Weird creatures argue over jewellery.
Oh, dear God.
Okay, apparently it is not easy. I should tell you that my wife got this within 5 seconds, and she has awful
Never seen a film.
knowledge.
That thing is actually makes me feel pretty bad because she's seen like 3 films in her life.
Weird creatures argue over jewelry. Did you say argue over jewelry?
Argue over jewellery, yes.
The Hobbit.
Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a ring?
The one I was thinking more of. There's multiple items of jewelry in
no.
the last of the Hobbit movies. Oh,
Fair
well.
enough. No. Next one. Definitely not a Bond film.
Casino Royale.
No,
Never say never again.
it's not a Bond film.
Kingsman.
Yes. Because they make so many references to the fact it's not.
yeah,
a
they
Bond
literally
film.
say this isn't one of these movies.
Yeah, and there's one bit. Yeah, he asks for a martini, and he goes gin, not vodka, obviously. And the other bit is when he names his dog JB. And he's like, "Oh, James Bond? No, Jason Bourne? No, Jack Bauer." Okay.
I actually was going to go the Bourne route, so thank you for stopping that early.
Next one. Perhaps fatherhood isn't for him.
Star Wars.
No.
I was about to say that one.
They're thinking. I can hear the cogs whirring.
Clank, clank, clank.
Very slowly.
We need to talk about
this.
Kevin.
No, there are 3 of these films.
The Godfather.
And this is appropriate for each one of them. I think. I haven't actually seen all of them.
So it's a trilogy. And perhaps fatherhood isn't for him.
That's intriguing.
Yes.
So I'm trying to think the trilogy narrows it
Well,
down.
it's not really... don't think of it as a trilogy. It's just a good film where they made a couple of sequels. I think that's the best way of putting it.
God.
Ooh.
That's a toughie.
I'm drawing so many blanks.
You're going to have to give us a little...
Yeah.
A little bit of sugar.
How do I... It's an action film. Quite recent. In fact, I think the third one came out like a year or 2 ago. What else can I say that won't give
The
it...
Expendables?
No.
Oh.
What's...
Don't know how that would fit.
No, I'm trying to think how not to give it away straight away, because as soon as I give you a clue, you will get it. It's one of those. Okay. I'm just going to have to give it away, aren't I?
Well, you say that, but then we probably won't get it.
So every film... Okay,
I would say you need a very specific set of skills to
Taken.
There we go.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's actually, thinking about it, we should have gotten that one sooner. We were leaping back to earlier. I was certainly leaping back to something much earlier.
Okay, next one. This is a spoiler, but this film's really old, so I don't care. Woman unwittingly bangs husband's brother.
Well, if it's unwittingly, it involves twins.
The Prestige?
Yes. Very good.
Great. Fantastic.
So that's
I'll grant myself.
So for anyone who has not seen The Prestige, sorry, I've just
what
spoiled
we
the
just
entire
said.
film for you. We're getting towards the end of the show. We'll make this one quick, although Karen from Stockton-on-Tees may not enjoy this, because we're going to talk about the next episode.
This is going to hurt.
Well, if we are going to do the rhyming with weird, I would suggest geared. Related to cars.
Oh.
Or drugs.
That I'm all for. It's a much more knowledgeable topic for me.
Not for me. Stay in school, kids.
Just say no.
The more you know.
There's geared. What was the other one? Oh, seared.
What was
But predicting the future.
The predicting the future or talking about cooking.
Well, we said that last time.
We did say that last time.
You're keen, aren't you?
Well,
I think that future predictions could be interesting, because we could actually look up like proper futurists and what they looked into like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
See, that's different. Yeah,
I like that idea, certainly. So that's...
I still had my Nearcast one, which is just like what's upcoming.
Sorry, what was that?
Tech.
That doesn't
Nearcast.
Doesn't rhyme with weird.
That was Nearcast, Karen.
I was close enough.
No, it's okay.
What if we had Nerdcast?
What?
We could actually we could have tiered cast where we look at varying degrees of social status, which would fit in with nerdism.
Or it's an in-depth discussion of the feudal system.
Yes. Or how to make cakes.
Tune in for that.
Or it's about crying. We just cry for an hour and a half. I'm well up for that. Sneered cast. We sneer and judge people less amazing than ourselves, which is...
That's a short list.
That would be it'll be a 2-minute episode.
Oh, guys.
We could do shared cast where
self-deprecation is a very attractive trait.
Did you say sheared cast?
Sheared cast, a follow-up to BeardCast where we'd like talk about like shaving and also like fleecing and wool.
Are you talking about sort of
funny you say that.
Trimming other bodily?
I have a story to do
with
how
to avoid injury when you're grooming. Manscaping.
Sorry, you have a story to do with shearing.
No, I don't. I have a story to do with animal hair that I've been trying to shoehorn in, and that
Did
reminded me.
Hair?
Animal.
Oh, I thought you were just mispronouncing anal.
Right, one day I was in the office, because I have a job as well, and a lady who works with me, who will remain nameless, she really will, she came in, and she wasn't the brightest, and she was sad about her dog. She's like, oh, my dog's not. There's something up with my dog, with her fur. Oh yeah, what's up? Oh, my dog's got minge.
What did she actually mean?
Mange. Clearly.
Oh dear.
Other one.
Yep.
RedWeird.
Okay.
No, Howie.
Are we talking about
Howie.
parenting?
To do with raising animals or committing acts frowned upon in some countries.
Wow. I quite like Seared for our next one. That might be a good one to do.
Is that going to be cooking or discussing the future?
Discussing the future.
If it's cooking, I'm not turning up because I cannot cook.
Is seared actually a word? Because
No.
it doesn't sound like it's a verb.
But we're doing that English thing where we can literally create an adjective or a
We
verb
are-
by adding
we're
ed or y or
yeah,
anything.
we're basically the new Shakespeare. And I
Yeah.
think people would agree with that.
Seared casts.
Seared
I think that's
cast.
going to win. Unless anyone has any better ideas, please send them in. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yep.
No.
Bye.
We are. I think
I think we're done.
We're done for the day. I'm just going to fade in some background music as we say goodbye.
All right.
Thanks. Wow, such enthusiasm. Unbelievable.
Do you remember how last week at this point we started talking about probing Howard?
We
up
did.
The bum?
We're not going to do that this time, are we?
Heaven forbid.
No.
You already just did. I'll do it to myself.
Oh my god, stop, Howie.
You can't
Well, we
see
can.
that far down
Yeah,
on
say we
Skype.
can't see that far down on
you can only see
Skype.
shoulders and head.
He looks incredibly
Thankfully.
relaxed.
He does. It
considering.
certainly does. Oh
Wow.
my god, listeners! If you could see what we're seeing right now, it's a good job this isn't. We're not filming this podcast as well.
Good
Thank
job
you.
for you.
Oh dear. Okay, everybody, thank you again for listening. We will hopefully be a bit more regular, as in our timings, rather than just filming it on a random day. Now I've got my computer back, we can probably book in regular dates, and hopefully you'll enjoy listening to us.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks
Thank
to everyone.
you.
We love you all. Goodbye.
Bye.